Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be for the 10 of you who are still into Helium, although probably after this we're somehow going to go on the negative. Rewards are down pretty massively in certain cases, not everybody, but like even for me for example, some of mine went down freaking 90%, right? So we'll talk about what happened, why it's happening, who it's affecting, and why in reality this shouldn't be much of a surprise, right? So we'll talk about it, we'll look at the effects, and give our thoughts and opinions, okay? If that sounds good, guys, stay tuned. Let's get right to this thing. So let's talk about the culprit. Let's talk about what it is. So this wasn't actually a HIP, it was a HRP. And this took effect today, or essentially last night. So let's just read on it real quick. So the Helium release proposal for April 2025, approved by the community, introduced 4 new roadmap features that will be rolled out in phases. Today, April 7, 2025, which was yesterday, urban area multipliers were adjusted. This was the thing that hit a lot of us. Specifically, it's going to affect people who had these like Wi-Fi hotspots in those crappier locations. Again, what we've been saying for the past years that they've made it extremely clear is that it's location, location, location. They don't necessarily want these things in like residential areas. They want these things in urban, downtown areas where people can offload data, because at the end of the day, that is the goal of these things, right? So been kind of having like a little gravy train since then. If you got in early, it did extremely well. For you guys who've been following, I got in on the first batch. They paid themselves off within the first 30 days, all of them, right? So it's been about a year and a half now. So the gravy train is kind of up for anybody who had these in residential locations, which is the primary reason I have not been recommending these to people if that's your situation, right? Realistically, again, you need to be in those urban areas. So let's look at the actual change. So HIP 103 changed network incentives to shift rewards toward hotspots and higher footfall urban locations. Incentives for low traffic areas are reduced to encourage more impactful hotspot deployments. This release adjusted those multipliers for HIP 103 low footfall C areas from the previous range of 0.03 to 0.4. So before, that was the big thing, is that there was a range. So like, yes, you could be in a C area, which is what it's affecting. For example, mine was a CAA. But because of that C, that's what lowered the multiplier quite a bit, right? But I was on the high end because of the AA, right? So I'm in an urban city, but not necessarily in an urban area, right? So specifically, you want the hotspot to be like in a pristine downtown location, or a location where you're going to get that foot traffic, right? Be it a restaurant, be it near a shopping center, plaza, etc., etc. So instead of it being that range, it's now just a flat 0.03. So it's now just flat at the bottom if you do have that C in your footfall area, right? So like for me, I'm falling into the location. One of them, it's faced towards where there is businesses, but it's only getting a few hexes in that. It's kind of on the outer edge. And that one didn't get reduced as much, but the other ones went down 90%. Okay, so this is a big thing. So let's look at the aftermath. Let's look at these little specs. So this is from my Helium Geek app. That's what I use. So this is one of them here. You can see the dramatic difference. On April 6th, it was 0.59. Very next day, 0.05. Okay, so massive, massive drop on one of them. You can see here, and again, the key thing, it's the Oracle boosting multiplier. Again, it's just flat 0.03 now, right? Unless you are getting some of those hexes. Okay, so like for example, my other one, because again, I do have 2 of them just kind of facing on opposed sides. This one does get some of those hexes, right? So this one didn't drop as bad. Obviously still pretty freaking bad. So 0.6 down to 0.16. So pretty dramatic difference still. And this is the little indoor. So the indoor went from 0.13 down to 0.01. Okay, so this one was an even bigger difference because again, this one was limited to the 1 hex from the get-go. Okay, so again, they need to be in good locations. That's the key thing for everybody. Let's take a quick look. And this is actually the IoT device, which I've been kind of neglecting, kind of tend to forget about this thing. So this is now the second best earner out of the 4. It's earning 0.11 HNT. Okay, so pretty dramatic difference, quite a big change, all coming from that. But again, they've made this pretty clear for the past year or so, if not longer, that they do not want these in those locations. It's got to be location over everything. And again, if you look at your Helium mobile planner, which the planner is still up, although it's not going to be reflective with this new multiplier. I just did one for shits and giggles just to see if it would come out. And no, it's still basing it off of the previous one. So understand that it just needs to be in a good location. Okay, and realistically, like we've said before also, I was surprised that even lasted this long, that they're probably eventually at some point going to get rid of POC period and eventually just go to rewards, right? Because again, realistically, that is the goal of everything. It's to place it in that location and offload that data to those providers. Okay, and it can be extremely lucrative for those people if you do have either access to one or just location, right? So it's not even necessarily that you have to own the property. You can talk to the business owner or the owner of the property itself and see if you can come up with an arrangement there, because they can be extremely lucrative. Okay, there's an example here. This one's currently one of the top earners. This is the little indoor device. Okay, this is not even a crazy setup. It's a little indoor device. Installation is super easy. But again, look at the location. It's right next to like a LA Fitness. It's right in the middle of a busy shopping center. And you can look at the stats. These are from the previous 30 days. Data transferred 1.79 terabytes, 418 average daily users. Okay, and again, that's just foot traffic. Again, a gym is an extremely ideal location because what do people do? They're typically there for like an hour plus sometimes. And what are they doing? A lot of the times they are on their phone, watching YouTube videos, watching whatever. The extremely ideal location, right? So you can see here the last 30-day earnings, 279 HNT. Okay, if we put that into a little guy, let's punch it in real quick. So just in a single month, earning about 750 bucks, and that's at HNT's current price point of $2.70. Okay, factor in this thing going up even to just the local highs of damn near 10 bucks. Pretty crazy price point. Okay, so again, can be extremely lucrative, but it needs to be in those locations. And again, what's awesome about this guy, and specifically with Deepen sector as a whole, especially those that actually make real world revenue, is that again, this is not like a consensus reward, or it's not a crypto related reward. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even matter what the value of HNT is at this point, because currently it's a fixed 50 cents per gig. Okay, so even if we do go through a bear market, which is going to happen here probably in the next 6 months to a year, this thing's still going to make revenue. Okay, and that's kind of the cool thing with, again, with Deepen, is that it's real world revenue that it's making. It's not just off of a protocol or off the consensus or the value of the crypto itself. It's real world, right? So this is what's pretty appealing here. Again, if you are in one of those type of locations, if you can get that unit in that type of place at all, there's still a lot of money to be had. If you haven't messed around with it, their new Explorer is pretty cool. So it's world.helium.com. It is way faster. It is very intuitive. You can go in depth. You can see everything here clearly. You can go in and play around with it just for different locations and such. Kind of the standout here is the amount of freaking hotspots that have gone online. If you look here on the 7-day, 27,000. Okay, which is pretty astronomical. But what is that mainly from? If we look at the breakdown, it's from those brownfield deployments. So you can see here the amount of different units there are. The mobile indoors, 13,000. Outdoors, 12,000. Converted Wi-Fi hotspots, 65,000. Okay, so this is where a lot of the revenue is going to be generated. And it's from being able to convert existing Wi-Fi hotspots into essentially these miners, into these hotspot devices. And it's pretty insane, right? If you guys remember, we covered this. There's actually guides for the different brands. So again, this is giving the ability to, like, places that have a lot of traffic, think stadiums, think malls. They already have the infrastructure for it. They already have a Ubiquity system, an Aruba system, whatever it is. They're able to convert that in order to be able to offload data through Helium. Okay, in order to be incentivized. This is pretty crazy, and this is why we've had such a big jump. And it's only going to continue to grow because, again, if you're in one of those establishments, it's like, why not? Inside of a stadium, there's just so many use cases here, and it's only going to continue to grow, especially as people start discovering it, especially as the price of HNT goes up. Okay, like we mentioned with that one, $744 at this price point. With the potential of it going up significantly, it can borderline get insane, right? It's only going to grow and expand rapidly here, right? So pretty interesting specs. As we look more at the specs here, again, just everything is kind of up and to the right, right? You look at the daily users, 525,000 per day. Daily data transferred, almost 20 terabytes. Hotspots deployed, again, we saw that number here. Helium mobile signups, and this has gone up through the roof as well, just because of the introduction of the new plans. More specifically, the new plan, which, by the way, now you don't need a referral. It is now open to everybody, which I highly recommend getting one, even if you have almost no use case for one. You could use it as like a multi-factor authentication phone where you literally just use it for that, or like a spam number, whatever. It's like, why not, right? If it's free, it's free, but kind of to each your own. But guys, just wanted to give you the heads up as to what the hell happened, because I know that was kind of a big shock even for me, because typically I follow most of the hips. Did not see this one just because it was labeled differently. It's technically a HRP. And it was pretty damn significant. And the gravy train, at least as of now, unless things change or if there was a mess up with the Oracle, who knows what happens here. But this was kind of to be expected. We did get a nice little run. Looks like it is coming to an end here. But let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys think of this? Do you guys agree with this? I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't. But in reality, even for me, it's affecting me big time. But at the end of the day, this is where the vision is. In reality, this is good for the network itself, and this is where it kind of needs to go, right? Because a lot of people have been gaming this thing. Just like the other one that's probably going to close up pretty soon are people offloading their own data plan to their hotspot. Like, for example, right now, even, let's say you have the $20 plan and you have a little Wi-Fi indoor, you can technically offload your own data and recoup that $20 and essentially have a free phone plan, right? Expect that to end probably pretty soon. I'm super surprised this lasted this long, but at the end of the day, this is what's better for the network. This is the vision. It is going, and it's accelerating extremely quickly. But let me know in the comments, guys, what do you guys think? Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I am out.